Rebecca Lovelace. I am the founder and chief doc joiner at Building People. At school, I was hardworking, loved words, really, really good at English and words, terrible at maths and science, really, really struggled. Probably a little bit lost, really just aspiring to probably find my place, work hard, and ultimately work out where it was I wanted to go. But I definitely knew it to do with words. Hugely accidentally. It was never a plan. My aim was to get into international humanitarian aid. I wanted to work for Oxfam, Amnesty, that sort of thing. And I had a call from my temping agency offering me a position to work as a site secretary in London on a construction project. It didn't fill me full of joy because I had all the usual stereotypes in my head about porter cabins and dust and not the environment and not my goal. But I took the role because I needed to pay my rent, and I was astounded. A new office block full of inspirational, exciting people doing nothing that I could see that involved hard hats or dust or even working outside. It's all very much in an office, and of course the site was next door. I worked on that project for about 6-8 weeks, just doing the secretarial reception role. And I was asked to stay on, and I said, no, thank you, on to international humanitarian aid. But my path brought me back because I realized there were roles in construction that did entail helping people, did entail making a difference. So I moved into a role that was eventually running pan-London projects, working with diverse, underrepresented individuals and supporting them to jobs and into training within the construction supply chain. So accidentally, but how brilliant was that? I studied social sciences at university, and my first role was working in a night shelter. I was managing a volunteer team and helping homeless people. Went backpacking, and that gave me my passion for travel, but also that desire to do the international humanitarian aid, which led to the accidental role working on site in construction. And from that really developed my career. I took a 6-month role with Lend-Lease at the time, managing their European volunteering programs. And that was just astounding, seeing the breadth of roles, the breadth of opportunities happening on a global scale. And that then led into a role working ultimately across London and developing programs, which was really focused on how can individuals access opportunities within the supply chain. That then led to, where did I go next? I did a master's in urban regeneration, took maternity leave, ended up running my own consultancy. Never planned any of this. It's all been hugely organic. And I realized the way to succeed was to have ideas and to have the confidence to see them through. I set up Be On Site, which is Lend-Lease's, I co-founded Lend-Lease's not-for-profit Be On Site, which works with ex-offenders and supports them to jobs and training in the supply chain. I then co-founded Build Force, which is ex-military into construction. And that then led to where I am today, which is this realization that there are so many people from so many different avenues and different walks of life that are looking for opportunities, might not even realize that construction has all of these amazing opportunities available. So many roles, so many breadths of just excitement that's available. And that was my opportunity to create Building People. So it's been a really organic career path. The driving thread that has gone throughout the whole thing for me has been, how can I make a difference? Whether I'm volunteering in the night shelter, whether I'm focusing on ex-military people, whether it's the social enterprise I've created, it's what can I do on a daily basis that makes a difference, that leaves a mark, that helps others, that supports change, that enables change. So my career path has been driven by what can I do to make that difference and be that difference. And that's not going to change. And I'm just so fortunate that I've had the opportunity and the passion, desire to really push these things through because they're wanted. We just have to keep pushing and pushing to get there. It's a tricky question because one thing I've never done is I've never planned. I've just been driven by this golden thread of making a difference. And I suppose when I look back, probably the key piece would have been to have had the confidence from the very beginning to be a bit louder about the changes I wanted to make. But it's been really hard because it's, as a sector, I think we're really now getting to the point where we've moved from corporate social responsibility. We're now looking at social value, environmental, social governance, all of those buzzwords. Now it's quite easy to talk loudly about diversity and inclusion, about equity and enabling people to be part of the space that they should always be in. It wasn't easy in the beginning because we weren't in that space. We were talking about what was called incident and injury free, so a focus very much on health and safety, and then environmental sustainability. But I think looking back, for me, the golden thread running throughout all of this has been that desire to make a difference. Doing something differently would have just focused on having that confidence, but it's hard to say that because the confidence has come from years of being who I am, learning how to change, seeing those opportunities, and really, I think just having that belief in myself, which comes from hard work, from the grind, and from the battle. That's a relatively easy question because I have two teenage sons. One of them is going to be doing his GCSEs next year. He came home one day just quite upset, saying, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up. I've got a friend who wants to be an actor, a friend who wants to be an architect, and I don't know what I want to do. And I said to him, I still don't really know what I want to do. My big piece of advice is find out what makes you happy. So I knew that I was good with words. I knew that writing, speaking, engaging with people about something I'm passionate about, I knew that that made me happy. So I was looking at, is it a career in social services or journalism? Those were sort of areas I was being pointed towards. As I say, construction was a complete accident. But my really key bit of advice would be, what makes you happy? What is it that you wake up and you think, this is what really works for me? If you can find a way to weave that into something that pays you a salary, then it's happy days. I've found what makes me happy is knowing when I turn off my computer, which often is not at the required time because I work very flexible hours because I really enjoy what I do. What makes me happy is knowing that I've made a difference. I never planned to do this in construction, very accidental, but it has been, as I said before, the golden thread. So my key piece of advice is, what makes you happy? What are you good at? How can you weave the two together and just have that focus? Because I'm not the first person to say this, but if you can do something that you enjoy, it's not so much like you're having to work, which I don't think anybody really wants to do. So yeah, what are you good at? What makes you happy? What's your passion? And weave those two together, and then everything should be so much easier.